Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today is it's a video I've been trying to come up with the right way to talk about this, and it's more about the ever changing landscape of the video gaming world, and I don't want to just say the video games themselves, because yes, there has been changes obviously from our earlier days of the blocky graphics, the Pong style games, all the way up to today's games where I always say they look like movies. Like you can't even distinguish them from almost real life, like watching a TV show or a movie. But yeah, I just wanted to break down and talk about the different things, because there's so much going on in the industry today with video games that didn't happen in the past. And if you look at, say, the earlier games, like I said, if you look at Pong, if you look at Centipede, Q*bert, Donkey Kong, very, very simplified single screen games. They had, very simple plots, save the princess, that type of idea, shoot the aliens. There wasn't a lot of, rich story behind any of them. They would have a manual, and they would have a little, the galactic this, doing this and this, and even that would be very simple. It was more like just for the quick gameplay, and that was it. And of course we had, I would say, a variety of people playing, but majority I would think were guys that were interested in these games. It wasn't until they started making games like Pac-Man where more females started to take notice of video games and wanting to play them. And that's something that would continue to grow. And devices like the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, when that came out, you started seeing more and more different types of people wanting to play video games. And of course, like they would buy the Game Boy just say for Tetris, kind of like with the Wii. When Nintendo Wii came out, a lot of the seniors started buying a Wii just because it got them moving and it was interactive. And that, that's part of the video gaming world, the video gaming history. But what I really wanted to talk about was, during the earlier days, nobody seemed to really care. I mean, video games were just what they were. They were just a simple pastime. In fact, this article here, which I see gets shared around a lot, like on Twitter or video gaming groups on Facebook, really tells you a lot about how they, some people really thought that video games were just they were a joke. They were a fad. It's like, who cares? It's gonna go away. It's gonna disappear. And of course it never did. I mean, it just grew stronger and stronger. We did have the video game crash in North America, which was obviously due to, several factors, like shovelware, essentially, a lot of bad games. The reputation of the video gaming console at that time was really low, and computers were taken over, and we went through this whole phase where video games were almost at that point, but then picked up into the 90s really, where we had Nintendo putting out a lot of various titles with rich stories, a lot of a lot more to it than just go and save the girl from the ape. And it really shows how video games kind of sculpted their way through this, and sculpted us as a society. And through that time, it was when games started showing violence, like Mortal Kombat 2. Parents were probably seeing these things, and I remember the articles coming out. I remember the discussions. It would be on the news where parents and teachers or politicians were getting involved and saying, this needs to stop. Like, we can't have violence in video games. These are kids playing these. They're getting exposed to this violence. And we kind of went through this phase of now everybody's kind of looking at video games as something more serious. They're putting the microscope. They want to see what kids are playing now. And we went through this phase now where it's okay, let's put a rating system on there. Sort of like what happened in the music industry back in the day, when a lot of parents and some politicians got all upset because of the lyrics in the video games, and they wanted it changed, or they wanted whatever, they wanted to put these warning labels on there. Same thing kind of happened with video games. And it was up to the console or the company who makes the game whether they wanted to have the blood in there. I believe with the difference between, like, say, the Mortal Kombat on the Sega versus the Nintendo, where they changed the blood color or stuff like that, because they were like, okay, we want to keep this young audience. But it's interesting how we kind of went through this phase of now people are paying attention. Now video games are something to take seriously in as far as their impact on society. So if we were to fast forward, obviously we get into more violent games. We got like Call of Duty, we got Grand Theft Auto, where there's you're practically raping the characters and beating them up and stealing their cars, that type of stuff. And still, there was a lot of pushback that these games are affecting the children and yada yada. But now, like, if we move on to today, and this is the part where it really kind of inspired me to want to talk about this, is nowadays it's changed. The landscape has changed again, and now the focus isn't on the violence or the plot or anything else. It seems to be it's where we want more diversity, and what really sparked this is I've been following along fellow YouTuber Smash JT on his Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called now. I've been following his threads. I've watched a few of his videos, and he's a gaming channel. He was a guy who worked in the video gaming industry for a very long time. I'm sure a lot of you who watch my channel know who he is. And I've watched his channel change throughout the years, and I think because of the way the video game landscape has changed, he kind of had to. Like, he was doing just mainly game reviews, and now it's got to the point where it's almost like a big, I don't know if I want to say a fight in the industry, where the gamers are now battling against the developers. And it's no longer about what the parents think and what the politicians think. Now it's the actual gamers and well, I guess the journalists as well, but the gamers, the journalists, and the developers are attacking each other. And it's not just with Smash JT. I've seen it with a bunch of other YouTubers and journalists and stuff, and gamers and enthusiasts talking about this. And the idea of bringing diversity into the game, some are saying that these journalists or developers are forcing this stuff into the games. They want to put it in there. They want to. So this is where, like, I'm saying with the woke culture, I don't know if there's like a full definition of what that really means, but this is what they're talking about, and saying that now video games need to have like a checklist of, you have to have a black character, you have to have a whatever character, they have to have this type of sexuality, or they have to have pronouns, or they have to have this, and all that kind of stuff to fit a wide, diverse crowd. And we've never really had this before. I mean, I don't recall ever seeing this happen. And of course, with the Smash JT thing, it's gotten to a point where he was on doing several videos on a journalist who it became personal. Like, it became personal attacks. And this was happening. This is like video games affecting the real world. These two were at it for months of just, attack of, why are you doing it this way? You should be doing it that way. It was like literally an online battle. And it got to a point now where there's like a full-blown lawsuit happening. They're getting lawyers involved. One of his last few videos, he talked about how, this has been in the making, and she threatened him. of, you know, if you don't back down or if you don't stop what you're doing on his videos, that she's going to throw legal counsel at him. And it's happened. And I just thought that was very fascinating how we've gotten into this world now where we're attacking ourselves, we're attacking the journalists, we're attacking the developers, and we're getting serious and we're pulling the law into this. So it's interesting to see where this is going to go and what's going to happen in the future. I mean, if you think about video games in the future, we're probably going to be more into the VR. Probably going to have a lot of AI in there, and that's startling. And who are you going to sue if AI is creating the content? It'll be interesting to see where the video game landscape takes us as a society, as a culture, and you know, whether this DEI and wokeness is going to have any effect on video games, or if it already is affecting it. I don't really play modern stuff, so it never affected me. But I'm seeing a lot of people, and there's some that are just raging about it, and there's some that don't care. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to leave it here, because I just thought that this was interesting to just kind of look throughout time and how video games affected society, and how we looked at them then and how we're looking at them now. Anyways, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. Hope you subscribe. We'll talk to you later.